Now you very much know what the top standard is and what the lower standard is. Half of these teams are going to 4K, half of them are not. Put it simply, if you're able to get 4 kills, you are in the top half of the teams. If not, you're in the bottom half. That being said, both these teams are very much in the top half. They're both incredibly strong. Obi already knows the game plan, finds the box, basically immediately is going to start some slowdown. And this slowdown is tough because not only is that going to, you know, slow down the gens until that box spawns back in and is able to get picked up and solved, but it's also going to put a stop to these totems as well, because Ruin and Crowd Control are on the field, protected by a Thrill of the Hunt. I often say that I would prefer survivors to try and cleanse those as soon as possible, but honestly, in this kind of scenario, I don't think they have much of a choice.
Well, so first of all, this is exactly the build I was expecting to see. We've seen a ton, especially on Dead Dog Saloon with a really strong main building. Not necessarily Cenobite, but all killers on this map. We've seen a very heavy shaman build. I wonder if that was setting up for a head-off. Oh, he just barely. That's unfortunate. I think that, so Cartney just barely didn't make it to the locker that I believe that was V1 hiding in. But because of that, I think V1 got a little bit scared, thinking that was maybe telegraphed. I better get out of here. So we are going to throw the head onto the killer, get the heck out of there. We see one totem go down, another one going down right away. So I think they must have heard you. They are actually breaking totems. So we have seen a lot of survivor teams just try and power through the totems, and it can be really damaging, particularly with crowd control. Crowd control, after its buff, it's, you know, somewhat recent buff. Great shoot there by Ward. It's somewhat recent buff, you know, in the last year or so, being able to block 5 windows forever until you break the totem. It's very strong. We've seen it a lot, and particularly on this map, so you can shut down main building. But if you can break that totem, suddenly main building is extremely good chase place for our survivors. So and Obi knows that we're having chain patrols on the last totem on the map.
Yeah, I see the vision with the build. Often we see teams power through, but just from my professional opinion, and this sounds kind of crazy, I would rather teams give up early gen progress just to try and get rid of things like Ruin. Simply because, like, when you're in the late game against a Cenobite who might have already scouted out as 3-gen, and you're trying to power through that, it is physically impossible. And this is a set where you can get outs as well. Now, Cartney's first down did come in at 108, courtesy of Toby, our resident stats man and very clever individual. Average time is 146, so ahead of the curve was Obi on that first down. The ability to not quite get that head-on play for the side of Oracle might come back to bite them, because Cartney is going to be dying sooner rather than later. That being said, pickup does actually come through on the flip side. Survivors are really leaving this box till the very last minute, which I do understand. Yeah, V1 is going to be able to pick it up. Cartney has absolutely nowhere to go, so it's going to go down the corner while V1 completes the box. Obi just going to try and tag up Ward, who wants to come in for some kind of heroics, perhaps some altruism, but it is not to be. Cartney has not had a great time being, you know, immediately bought out there, but I think I think the idea is that, yeah, so far in this corner, trying to get onto anything, and yeah, it's not going to happen.
He's got to have flip-flop. That was way too fast. That was flip-flop, right?
Oh, that and there's breakout from Ward as well.
Oh, breakout. Right? I'm sorry. You're right. That was breakout. Great play. Wow. Yeah, Cartney should have been dead at basically. There was basically 2 gens done. Should have been dead there. Also, with that box, I wanted to say that box was extremely close to that hook. I don't think, obviously, Obi was aware, because I think they would have gone and picked it up after that. But that box was really close to the hook. So while they were breaking totems, while the camp out was coming in on Cartney, the box was sitting very close, sort of behind all the buildings over there. And this is going really well. For Cartney to be alive this long, you can see Ward creeping away, crawling away, trying to get picked up by one of the teammates. Unfortunately, Chase is coming back towards it. We're running out of room here. With good dodge, though. Great juke.
I think you make. I feel like you could have made the pallet. The head-on play coming in. The altruism has been absolutely spectacular I mean, think about like this. Cartney should have been dead like 2 minutes ago. Obi is thinking, I'm way behind schedule right now. But it was the heroics of players like Ward and V1 and Flix who have been able to stop that for so long. And now Cartney's going to go down the exact same spot. Ward is healthy, and the break is going to do
and Metal of Man! Look, Metal of Man as well, and Tenacity. You can slug me all day. You're not making... Oh, he's going to drop again. He's going to drop again.
Yeah, he can't make it. He actually can't make it from the corner. And now this changes your strat for Obi so much. Cartney does fall there, not ideal, to be honest. Ward is more than happy to just take a hit for Cartney with
the Metal Man hit!
What is this? This is
Holy
squad! They're actually bullying him.
This is insane. This is like Ward is just playing. Like, get down, Mr. President. I got your back, and just running with him. And did Obi leave? Because we're getting to the point now where, like, okay, my tunnel out's not working. I got to start putting some hooks on the board. Because, like you said, this is a 50-50. A 50-50. I'm sorry, I got a 4K. And when that's the situation, there is a turning point in most competitive matches where, all right, I'm not gonna get this tunnel. I think Ward is still. I think Cartney is still tunnelable here. But if I'm not going to get my tunnel out, I got to start putting some hooks on the board. I got to start putting some fresh hooks on the board and give my survivor team the opportunity to win this match. But we're getting to that point where we got to start, because we got V1 here tanking a hit. Cartney's going to make it all the way to main again. We are down to one perk on the killer side. All we've got left is three pain raises. I think that was an accidental chain because verticality on those chains can sometimes be a little bit touchy, and unfortunately Obi was not able to drops the chase on Cartney, wasn't able to get the down on V1, and now we're sitting at 2 gens left with 2 hooks. Okay, so we found Ward, and we're trying to find a down here at this point.
I mean, it's Ward that you have to find, because it's been made abundantly clear that you simply are not allowed to hook Cartney. 4th generator going to be top. Yes, Cartney's your tunnel out, but clearly not very tunnel outable.
Oh, as you
threading the needle there. Spectacular work from Obi. Is that going to be enough to get onto Ward? Not quite. Does make the window. The breakable wall is gone here, however, and Obi is trying to get through Ward, but is so scared of the lockers. Knows about the head-on plays that came out earlier. Ward, unfortunately, there's only one breakout and you're the one who has it, so going to this corner isn't going to be able to get you to live for a lot longer. But again, like, this is Ward's first hook stage. You're fine with this, especially because you're not hooked in basement. You're going to be relatively fine to save, and they're going to get the reset onto Cartney as well. This is some of the best team play that I've seen in a very long time.
I want to say too. This is okay. So let's. Obi's been taking a little bit of beating from Ward there. So a little bit of justice getting Ward on the hook. Very important to point out though. This is a really tight 3-gen. This is an extremely tight 3-gen, and the hook is in the 3-gen. I think the survivors are gonna be able to work their way around this. We got 3 people. 3 healthy survivors gonna be able to come in and take that. You got little cheeky Cartney play going. Remember when you wanted to tunnel me out? I'm over here. Come get me. Nope, I'm not gonna fall for that, says Obi. So we're just trying to kind of bounce back and forth here. We know where all 3 survivors are. It looks like V1 might be heading into for the save now, but dropping down means you'll see Flix get back on that main building generator, and Cartney was back there too. Speaking of the devil, there's Cartney right there. So Obi is going to try and maybe camp out Ward and then see if we can get some tags. But without crowd control, that main building is a nightmare, Egdar.
And you have a really tough job of controlling it as well. Because, like, yes, you can send chains to harass the survivors up here, but realistically, unless you actually move yourself up onto that top floor, you can't do anything. But you don't really want to move yourself onto the top floor because you want Ward to die. At the very least, stay to second stage, which seems like that's the play. You're going to take Ward to second stage. Now there's... you eventually back to deal with those generators up top.
You're right. So right now you're getting pulled in multiple directions here. Unfortunately, you've got two survivors in plain view working on this main building generator. Unfortunately, clips the corner with that chain. You got 2 working this top gen. You got no perks to really help you regress it. You got no Call of Brine. You got no Eruption. You got nothing. You can't really, unless you're up here, you're not regressing it. And then you're gonna, as you see there, you see Ward and V1 are going to go ahead to that other balcony generator, and you know that's what's going on now. As Obi, I kind of think there might be a game where you stay on that. Well, this is good. What? Did we just sandbag our own teammate? What's happened there?
Allegedly, but Obi was chaining, so yeah, Obi was chaining anyway, so it's fine. We're not going to report. We're not going to be reporting V1 anytime soon, as they are.
This is like my Swift right here. They're sandbagging me. Anyways, all right. This would be good though. So at this point, again, it looks like they're probably gonna get the generators done. So if we can get it down on V1, that would be great. Obi seems to not want to resign to letting the gens get done yet. So kind of keeping an eye on main building there. Obviously, I think it was Flix went to go get the box, which would have been way across the map. Yeah, that gen goes down. We want V1 right now, guys. We want V1. We need to get V1 down on a hook, get some extra hook states, and get another fresh hook. And but we're send in the troops. Here they come again. We're gonna be seeing that amazing teamwork we've seen from Oracle. And again, we were talking about this pregame. Just when you're working together as a team, and I mean that's what's been happening here. I think we decided, well, listen, Ward, if you're going to be the one that they're protecting, if you're going to be the one getting the door while they're protecting, I'm going to come and down you. So Ward on the ground. Ward does have tenacity, so tenacity will let him kind of get away there. Good, just a chain tank from Cartney to stop V1 from going back into deep wounds. They were trying to get the heal off, but the deep wounds happens. Now we're going to be chasing Flix, maybe. Flix is another fresh hook, so Flix and V1 would both be good. Unfortunately, Flix is healthy. We might come take the kill on Ward real quick, but I think if we resign to that, I think Ward went into the map with tenacity.
Bro, where did he go? That's what I'm saying.
He's got tenacity, right? So, he's in the middle of the street, unfortunately.
I found him.
No bushes to be seen, but they're going to get the door. I think we're going to get 3 out here. That's going to be a 5 hooker.
Especially because, like, Ward is already dead, and you were playing to get V1, try and cam to death so you get as many hook stages as humanly possible. We can see Cartney, V1, and Flix are going to be getting out. Flix working on their own gate over on the other side of the map, and that is some exceptionally strong play coming out. God, that is an absolutely brutal setup. Going to that corner when, because basement spawns there, there's going to be no hooks in that corner. And that means that you can really take advantage of something like Breakout, Flip-Flop, and I believe Boilover was had by Cartney too. So you had every single tool just physically stop any hooks coming out over there. And Mad he's running Mad Grit.
Oh my goodness,
he's
Mad Grit! Okay, but keep in mind, the killers can't change their builds.
Is this like the counterpoint? I know they can't change their builds, but like, is this the counter to the counter? Because of knowing that like everyone's gonna try and, not everyone, but like people try and go to that corner and use Breakout to prevent any hooks and take hits with like Metal of Man, that you're gonna run Mad Grit to stop that from happening.
That's wild. I want to point out something too. This start is a lot is not quite as good for Ward as it was for Obi. We got into a chase right away, which is great, but the survivors of Elysium managed to good M1 there, which is going to make some distance. The survivors managed to find the box and I was gonna say cleanse it, solve the box. They managed to solve the box, so we're not gonna see a chain hunt at the beginning here, and now we're seeing some of that great teamwork play. Pedro takes a chain, but Zeno's there to just break chains, free Pedro and give Pedro the distance they need to get to Shack, drop Shack pallet. Now we're gonna be heading to main. If we can dodge it, okay, we're not gonna dodge that, but I would imagine again, let's see how we play this, because you gotta imagine there's a head on. There's the attempted bait. Ward's like, I've played this game before, I know. So I believe the head-on is still here. Yeah, head-on's coming in right now.
No, honestly, that's the thing. It's so strong that you don't... I was just about to say this. You don't even need to have someone in that locker, because you can just run past it, and the killer is so paranoid and thinking, I'm going to get hit with it. You found the right locker.
The scratch marks were there. The scratch marks were there. Zeno got in and didn't realize it coming out the back, and it was too late. Oh no! Wow, that was such a great. Yeah, it's like back before when DS is back a bit, but back when DS was on every Survivor, you literally would just like you'd slug somebody, and like if you ever tunneled somebody off hook, you'd slug them because you assume everyone's got DS, right? Like it was one of those ones where you didn't even need to have DS because everybody had it. Same thing there. You didn't even have to worry that you didn't even have to be in the locker because you're just like they'll think that you're in the locker. So. But as we were saying that, Xeno gets caught out, gets hooked at 4 gens in basement. Now, thankfully for the survivors of Elysium, like the basement's not where you want to be, but at least it's at the main building, which is to say that it's off to the corner of the map as opposed to the middle of the map. So it's going to be harder for Ward to both camp and patrol. As we see here, we're getting pretty far away. We know that Marco is over here. So now someone's free to save Xeno. Now the question is, are they going to trade Xeno's second state for some hook progress, some gen progress, or are they going to go for the save? It looks like we're doing gens.
Yeah, that seems to be the name of the game. You know that Xeno is going to go to like a minimum second stage here, very early catch, and the interesting thing is that down came out a lot slower than what we saw when Elysium was on killer with Obi. This one was a 143, more in line with the average as opposed to the like 103, 104 that we saw earlier. But this one felt a lot more impactful because it was onto a healthy survivor out of the locker.
Mm-hmm.
It's in basement. It's just kind of more impactful. And now you've found Marco over on the side here. Who are you gonna have that pallet to work with? Yes, you are. And you're actually just going to fake it spectacularly. I don't think you're gonna get quite as much luck on the other side here. Remember, Xeno's already hit 2 stages, which puts Ward at like 2/5 way to the tie condition and like 1/3 of the way to the win condition. Only 2 generators have been completed. Not only do you need to complete generators, but you need to get outs as well. Ward could actually win like an official DBDL set while running Mad Grit, which is not a timeline that I ever thought we'd be in, but it's clearly it is. God is dead and we killed him.
I'm actually really interested. Great juke there by Xeno. I'm actually interested. We have found Xeno the tunnel out here, so it's fair. Given the win condition, it's so interesting. I'm again when I look at this, I always kind of think of okay, all I need is 6 hooks, right? But that's not the way that Ward is playing this. Ward is playing this like I'm gonna get my tunnel out. I'm gonna go get a 4K, whatever I'm gonna do, because we're not like. For the win condition, I think we very much could have just hooked Marco. Now we got 3 hooks, 2 fresh. Now all you got to do is hook a 3rd person and get them to second state, and you're there. But nope, we're just gonna continue the tunnel out here on Xeno, and potentially I think we're gonna be attempting to go for the 4K. We are gonna get a pick up here. I don't think we're close enough, and that's not quite an angle. Good effort by Silhay, but not gonna be the case. Yes, no. We're not going to drop because we went for this, are we?
Are you trying to get
Matt Grit value! Matt Grit value! There it is, baby! Let's go! And Xeno, if Xeno's paying attention, we'll see that his bar stopped, but I don't know. That's wild. Mad Grit value. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what the craziest thing is? If Silhay had just kept on running and not taking a hit, Ward might have dropped, but who expects Mad Grit? You know?
I hate this game. I hate this game so much, dude. Like, why are we getting Mad Grit value in Big 2025? Anyway, it worked there. And yeah, really surprisingly, Ward didn't go for like the immediate hook onto Silhay, which would have been a perfectly reasonable play, but you're going for Marco instead. I think, like, yeah, you could just be going for this 4K, trying to get everyone down. That being said, you're being juked pretty hard at this pallet.
Yeah, I like true competitors, I feel, which is not what I am. True competitors will always be going for their best possible win condition without throwing. You know, obviously you're not gonna if it's a very, very, very close game, you're gonna often take your win condition. But as things stand, yeah, Ward is going for best possible result here rather than just enough. And I mean, that being said, all the survivors are injured. Oh, breaks that door out, which makes for some interesting mind game, but also makes for some very loopable situations for the survivors. Again, if you're looking at the differences between this match and last, Last match, we broke all the totems. This match, we didn't. Last match, we found the box at the beginning as the killer. This time, we didn't. Last match, we lost our tunnel out. This match, we didn't. So, like, there's a lot of things working for and against both teams in the situation. So, very different game than last. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Marco seems fine for the time being. Never mind. Actually, doesn't look too fine. It's sort of on the ground right now. And yeah, you can just camp out Marco to death if you really want. That'd be your 6 stages. Realistically, that would be. I don't feel that's really going to happen when you have the potential to continue to get deep wounds from distance on these survivors who are in a bit of a predicament. I don't believe they're going to be able to get out of this one particularly easily. Especially if you snipe. Yeah, I was going to say I didn't know that DBD was doing a collab with Sniper Elite, but you know that happens to the best of us, I suppose.
Got to do his aim training. Didn't quite hit that one.
Yes, yes, this is an FPS game actually. I mean, there are some DBD pros actually have backgrounds in FPS games. That could help, I suppose. But Sile is like positioning around the hook, but not really in position to. That's a pretty good vault. Is able to, you know, cut that in half, force Sile over to this pallet. Zero respect, absolutely none. God forbid someone respect the pallet. And now with that generator just completed, you know that Pedro's here. You know exactly where they are. You're gunning for this 4K, and you're going to get it as well. Ward, I mean, call it stat padding if you want, but it's some absolutely phenomenal play. And again, it's also sort of the mental edge, you know? Like, yeah, I could have just played for 6 stages. I could have just, you know, camped Marco to death, and no one really would have batted an eyelid, but I'm going to prove to you guys that I can 4K you as well. Just for love of the game, even when you are still trying your best, firing on all cylinders, I can fire on more.
Wow, it's commanding. Well, that's like, again, so 5 hooks, phenomenal survivor play. 4K1, phenomenal killer play. Oracle is here to say, listen, we have something to win and we have something to lose here, and we're here to play, and I don't care what's standing here, and we're going to take that win. So Oracle toppling Elysium in the first round. Big Nodders Ward, you earned it. Really solid play, and the first round is going to go to Team Oracle. So we're going to be going into round 2, and like you said, Elysium's pick. So I mean, I'm not that there's any killers that either of these teams are necessarily bad at, but when you pick a killer, you gotta think that you have you got a little bit of the upper hand because it's one of your favorites.
Especially for the first picks, right? Because your first picks are your actual picks. After that, it's basically just banning out everything that you don't want to play until you finally are left with the scraps. So Elysium, I guess we can briefly start talking about next set. We'll have plenty of time, but next set is going to be Ghost Face on Larry's. If you were here for Wednesday Scrim Night, then you saw a little bit of a taste of what that can be like, and the answer is it's all in the macro. There is a little to no micro, to be completely honest, when dealing with a Ghost Face. It is all macro, it is all about positioning, it's all about call-outs, it's all about awareness, it's all about not being, you know, stabbed in the back by the creepy dude in a mask just around the corner. That's about not getting snowballed, because it's such a delicate balance where when the survivors are playing well, it sort of feels like there is nothing the Ghost Face can do. The agency of the game of the Ghost Face set is completely on the survivors, right? Ghost Face has to rely on the survivors making mistakes in order to be able to exploit them. I think in theory, if you have like the perfect killer player versus the perfect survivor team, the perfect survivor team wins every single time. And it's not even close, because like Ghostface can't really do anything of his own volition. It's so reliant on survivors to make mistakes. That being said, the margin for that error is so slim because it's on Larry's, because of the unique balancing, because of the rule set. Aside from your general balancing, there are no perk bans. There are no perk bans for them. There's very little restriction. Can kind of just like get away with anything. And so this is the build that's going to be going with Sloppy Butcher, Corrupt, Eruption, and Pain Resonance. This is just the standard, to be honest, and you've already been spotted out by Marco, so you're not going to be able to get a lot done here, especially because this is a fairly reliable tile for you, and you've been revealed anyway. You aren't going to be able to get that. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get that haste from the Drop Knife Leg Sheath, so you just kind of have to move on and go do something else.
It's pretty good though. I mean, like really, what you want to be doing at the beginning of the match is you want to be sneaking around. You want to be seeing if you can get an M1 on somebody. You want to be seeing if you can get, apply Sloppy Butcher, or the alternative is what we're doing here. Like if you can sneak up on somebody, get a hit, that's great. Otherwise, start spreading around. The interesting thing about Ghost Face is you can basically injure people without injuring them. Both Pedro and Marco are not quite there yet. They're both around that sort of 60% stock range. But when you're 99% stocked, it's like being injured and not actually being able to heal, right? Because you are essentially one tap, but you can't heal the one tap. I was gonna say I don't think Xeno took a lot of stock there, and so now Ward is just happy to swing through the pallet, apply Sloppy Butcher, and go back into the map. I do want to point out, guys, we have a substitution. Oscar has stepped into the fray. Silhey is sitting out for this match, so Oscar has joined Team Elysium Survivors, seeing what they can do on this match, playing the ace. It looks like we're still trying to spread around some of this stock, and yeah, we're chasing Oscar, maybe trying to get some on there. And we somehow,
not Oscar.
I think that was an accident, maybe. I think maybe we didn't mean to. Maybe Pedro got in the way and we stalked out. It's okay because we found him, but like looked like we were chasing Oscar and then we go after Pedro. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think the issue is like you accidentally mark someone. It's like, okay, well then I'm safe. Oscar's there to take an M1, recognizes that they don't have a ton of stalk, so no issue there. And yeah, for Pedro here, you can just sort of keep running. When you're marked, you're fine to just use strong pallets. Recognize how slow the game goes, however, just because of how paranoid you have to be against a Ghost Face. There are no gens done. We're about 3-4 minutes in, 0 generators completed. Not entirely sure if a ton of them actually have all that much in the way of progress, and we have spotted out an injured Xeno here who's going to be immediately dropping the pallet, so not taking any chances here.
I really think that Pedro stock was an accident. I don't think that was. I think we had him 99, and I think we were trying to put some stock onto. I think it was Oscar, or maybe it was Xeno. Sorry. Well, we were chasing that one person around that sort of exit gate, and I actually think that Pedro got in the way, and got stock, because I don't think you want to full send the stock unless you're like really really close to him. Like I think you save it, right? So this is actually interesting. We're going to be setting up by this God pallet down sort of the opposite end, the bottom side of the map, far away from that sort of TV room, so we can get the reset. Resets are really important in this match too, because with Sloppy Butcher, it's going to take longer, and obviously you don't want to get snuck up on. So I think he went in that room here. Oh, where is the survivor? Oh my goodness, right there! Oh, was that? They were going to get tagged, and we're going to get our first down. Let's go.
Wow, I actually hit him with the must have been the wind down. Crazy. Yeah, so Oscar and Xeno are going to reset, and I think what you're talking about that's important. Yes, Sloppy Butcher will make individual resets longer, but think of how often you're resetting in a Ghost Face series, right? Because like if he can't mark you, he's going to injure you, and 99% of the time he is in a pretty good position to do that. So you're going to be having to reset a lot, and 4 extra seconds per heal might not seem like a lot, but then you add that to a full reset, well, that's 8 seconds, and then, okay, well, then another, that's 16 seconds, and then you just get more and more and more, and then eventually and if you're having to reset enough, you are losing minutes of gen progress, save potential.
Oh,
you're losing so much time just because, like, what are you able to do aside from, like continue to reset, and then just it's not really wasting time. You have to do it, but like the longer the game drags on, the better it is for a killer. It has always been that way.
Yeah, you really don't want to play injured against the Ghost Face who can pop up out of nowhere. And also, I want to add on one more piece to what you were just saying about the seconds here and the seconds there. Not to mention the fact if you get caught out, like they were healing at a God pallet, right? So you're probably not going to take it down. But if he Ghost Face happens over there and you get interrupted, well, now Hemorrhage is gonna take away all that time you just spent into resetting. And you can't 99 the resets, so you can't hide the fact that you're resetting, right? You can't
You'll
99
also
one and heal the other, right?
You'll also lose a God Palette, which
And
could
you'll lose
be
a
a
God
valuable
Palette.
thing.
Exactly.
You know, very close to the mark there, 99%, and Ward's gonna actually just sort of drop that. When someone is that far progressed, you don't actually want to... you want to leave their mark as a surprise tool that could help you later, so instead you're just gonna stealth your way near to him, and this could be deadly.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So what we did there is we actually got Xeno basically 99, and so there are some strong palettes on this map, but there are 2 pure God palettes, and we have seen that one there. The library is one of them, and it's gone now. That's something else Ward has been doing. Ward has been bouncing. We're still at 5 gens, by the way. We've been bouncing around, putting stock, putting damage and whatnot, and getting that one hook. By the way, I don't think we took a pain res on that hook. By the way, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't believe we put a pain res down. Yeah, we're just bouncing around doing our thing here, and every time they drop a pallet and we kick it, they're getting less and less resources. Oh, good try, but Xeno makes that pallet. That is a really weak pallet, though. That pallet can be very strong if there's a window, but unfortunately, there's just a... Oh, my goodness! Unfortunately, it was 2 doors, and we swing through that pallet, and Xeno's going to take the hit. There is somebody lurking by. Okay, no, I thought maybe we see a flashlight or flashbang play, but no such luck. And this will be our first pain res, I believe. Wow.
Hey, Andrew. Hey, Andrew.
Hi.
Do you know how many gens are done?
How many gens have been done?
Yeah. We're almost, I
well.
believe we are, like, somewhere at, like, the 7-8 minute mark, and no generators have been done. We have one, which sounds like it could be almost done, but you can just see the absurd amount of pressure that is put on these survivors by this killer. Yeah, Pedro has nothing to work with.
Yeah.
The haste as well works for that, too.
Yeah, that really good pallet in main was gone. We had the drop leg knife sheath, which gives you a boost of speed when you fully stock. And Pedro, yeah, Pedro had nothing to work with there. We're lockering up nearby, maybe just behind it, looks like. So that's going to be 3 fresh hooks already. And again, I mean, we're getting some gen progress, but they're not done yet. And we're going to kick this one and apply eruption again. This is getting hairy, Egdar.
Wait, I think they're going to do it. They're going to complete
goodness.
Finally, Xeno's done a generator. Oh, goodness me. Okay,
Success!
First one there. Oscar, I mean, that's actually good, because that's sneaky, because Ghostface had their position called out by Oscar in that locker, but also Ghostface doesn't know that anyone's there. So it's going to struggle for a moment before... Well, okay, you figured out the sort of trial by fire-esque way of realizing that
he was in there for so long, I think we were about to see a crow, so I think head-on had to come in at that point. So.
Yeah, basically. Now Oscar and Marco actually around there. They're just sort of chilling for the time being.
They're all getting stalked. This is really bad.
Yeah, and Oscar as well. And the haste. And I don't really...
Look at this. Kicks with Olsen's wallet, and we got power back now. If Marco decides to come in, we can...
Oh,
yes!
No!
That's what happened!
That's what happened!
This pallet's gone. We're down again. Okay, so we've got 2 just gone up. They're trying to get that gen done. Yeah, the survivors are in triage mode now at this point. We got to get a couple gens done, because if we're going to get slugged out for the kill, we cannot get 4K forward. We really can't get 4K 3. Oh, the pain res comes in. I think that was, yeah, Marco. So we saved Marco's pain res. After Marco got down first, and even though no gens have been completed, you think that, oh, this is a good time to take it. Ward, either for positioning or just insanely big brain plays, saves the pain res, and now that that second gen that hasn't yet popped doesn't pop. This is crazy.
Oh, this is such a commanding position for Ward to be in. Like, everyone is injured. Marco's on hook. Oscar's gonna be picked up. I mean, yeah, you have a pain res right here. Might as well utilize it. And now that gen, which, you know, had some amount of progress, might have possibly been done, that's gonna be regressed too. Pedro now dead on hook. And God, this is brutal for the survivors right now. They've only completed 1 generator.
Everybody
honestly, if things continue at this rate, I think that's where it will start and end. 1 generator done. I mean, we've got some more news from the stats man Toby himself to go as per usual. Just talking about Oracle's success and their streak recently, in the last 6 weeks, they have only lost 2 sets out of 17. They have they have lost 2. They have tied 1 and won 14. That is absurd. That is an absurd late game. That is an absurd late season recovery. As Marco dies here, Pedro gonna suffer a similar fate very, very soon. I can only imagine that Oscar and Zeno are just doubling up on a generator to try and get to, you know, that final
they got one, they got
stage. And yeah, they've been able to get 1.
But Pedro's dead then.
Gens completed. Oh, 3
they got
gens.
it. Okay, good. No, you know what?
Right.
You know what? That's actually huge. 4K2 is tieable. Like if you come into a game, at a 4K3 or better, the killer doesn't have to play their regular like tunnel somebody out, whatever. Like they don't have to play that way. They just have to like you can literally let somebody die on their first hook and slam out 3 gens and you win. 3 gens done is doable. It's not good. It's not good for Team Elysium, but it's better than it was 3 seconds ago when it was 4K4. So yeah, this is wow. This is crazy. Ward is locked in. My goodness.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that Ghost Face has only been played once another time in this entire season, and that was also by Team Oracle in their 3-0 win against Ariandel. It's definitely a specialist series of theirs. Now, the interesting thing is that we don't have a lot of data on how well Ghostface performs, but in that match, both teams got outs. Of course, Oracle did better, but both teams were able to complete all 5 generators and escape. And honestly, to me, that just doesn't seem right to me. Like, look at from what I've seen of Ghostface, I cannot fathom getting outs against this killer.
I gotta say, like, I don't even... Nice, Mori. I love you. I love you, Ward. Thank you. Appreciate that. Always love to see a Mori, not to mention one of the best Moris in the game. Arguably the best. Cheese! Sorry, as I was saying, one of the... I usually like to look for a turning point. What happened? What changed in this game? And honestly, I think this was Ward was just everywhere, always, all at the same time, coming from every different direction. Like Ward just had omnipresent map presence, and the survivors were just never really able to be on. Like, he's at the bottom, so we can work on top gens. No, he was constantly on them, constantly pressing. So, I mean, it's not over yet. It ain't over yet. So we are into the match now. Zeno rocking the exact same build as we saw last match.
Add-ons are different.
Add-ons are different. Wow. Okay. Neither of the ones that I would expect.
Yeah, Philly and Matchbook.
So here's the thing. I'm as a Ghost Face enjoyer, I think that the drop leg knife sheath is droppable. I don't think that that's bad. I think you can. There is a world where you swap it out for Philly. Philly lets you get full stock 20% faster. Okay, or you stock 20% faster. That being said, I don't know. Olsen's wallet is so strong.
So I bluntly, I do not understand why you would take the matchbook here over Olsen's wallet. What the matchbook does is that what the matchbook does is that it reduces your recovery time of Night Shroud by 6 seconds. Okay, cool. What does Olsen's wallet do? Restores it every time you break a pallet. Do you know how many pallets are dropped on this map?
Yeah,
a few. There's a couple of them. So I really don't know why you would take the, oh, well, you know, I could get this back as V1. That is about as close to a 99. Possibly.
That seems so wild. I don't understand that pick 100%. Like, it doesn't make sense to me because, like,
oh no!
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't blame the full stock there, but also that was okay. Look at this. I mean, not that you need it right now. Break that pallet, you can have power back. You don't need it obviously with V1 already fully stocked. But yeah, I don't understand that decision because it. Oh, we're gonna get it here. We're gonna get it. There we go. But we have another survivor nearby. Flix is nearby, and we're under a pallet. Are we gonna? They're there. Oh, they didn't make it though. I heard footsteps coming from the other direction.
Very quick first down. 1:38 on the clock.
Yeah,
that's very good time for a Ghost Face.
What we needed for sure. And Pain Res is gonna go off right there. So this is the most progressed generator. So great hook placement, great use of pain resonance. So okay, sorry, so much was happening. Yeah, I like so many times you'll be in chase. Or you'll be stalking someone, they break it, then you chase them, then they drop a pallet, then you get your power back, you finish the stock. That's not in play right now for Zeno. Now listen, Zeno's a great killer, so I gotta think we're cooking here. We must have practiced like this or something, but yeah, matchbook just doesn't It just doesn't make sense to me. Again, Olsen's wallet. Oh, that was so close. Olsen's wallet, Philly. I think it's weaker, but I can see where it could be more comfortable if that's the kind of play you want to go for. I don't understand the matchbook. Anyways, I'm gonna stop harping on it. I'm gonna let Zeno cook here, but.
Yes, we yap. It is what we do in this industry.
Yeah.
And we have strong opinions all the time.
I'm sitting here like, and Zeno's an idiot. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a questionable choice that I don't know. Zeno's probably cooking. We're not gonna make that pallet, and we're gonna get our second hook here on V1. I mean, this is starting out pretty good, Egdar. We got one gen about to pop. They're doubled up on it. Another gen almost done as well. So we're going to see 2 gens getting done. We only need 1 more for the tie condition. Sorry, no, that's not right. Yes, that is right. My brain's gone.
One more for the tie condition.
Yeah, I'm right.
And, like, V1 is almost dead. Flix and Ward need to reset. But I think if they're able to do that, then... Ooh, and basically 99-2, which is a tough one. But provided that Flix and Ward are able to reset, they should be able to get a save onto V1, and after that, they are probably fine to get 1 more generator completed. After that, it's anyone's game. To be honest, with the sloppy, they might not have time for a full reset.
Oh my god, that's what I was going to say! There's nothing you can do here because you have the injured survivors resetting. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. They have the injured survivors resetting. I was surprised. I was going to say I'm surprised that Zeno isn't going back to hook, but we're going to camp this hook out now with someone on the ground. Flix just started a generator across the map. Ward is healthy, but these doors here are very blockable. Yeah, V1's dead. V1's dead, so now we're going to have Oh my goodness. We're going to have V1 dead. I'm sorry, we didn't give it to him. Okay, phew. I was like, there's no way we gave him the unhook, right? But we didn't. Okay. V1's dead. Cartney's on the ground. We're in chase with Ward. Flix is injured. This isn't over yet.
It's a spook. Wait!
He got him! He hit him through the guard pallet as we were changing. I'm so sorry there, guys. We were changing. He hit him through I was like, why did the gen explode? He hit him through the guard pallet. This isn't just tieable. This is winnable.
How? No. What?
He wins! He wins! Zeno wins!
How?
Okay, that's an insanely strong pallet. It's not over. This is an extremely strong pallet.
Oh my god.
Because it's not just... So, okay, I gotta talk about this real quickly. Leary's has these interesting pallets like that one. That one can either be the weakest pallet in the game or a god pallet. If it's a door and a window, it's a good pallet. If it's a door and a closed door, it's a god pallet like that. If it's 2 doors like that, that pallet is one of the weakest pallets in the game. I mind you, this window makes it better. But like, it's so interesting. There's like, depending on what doors are opened or closed. 4K3! Zeno wins!
What?
Listen, I want to throw this out there. Listen. Because I don't want Zeno watching this back and going, who is this Canadian yapping about my add-ons, okay? I want to point out you were like, this is done. Zeno's never going to win this. It's never going to happen. And I was like, you don't count out Zeno. I'm sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus here so Zeno doesn't...
honestly, I kind of deserve it for that one. That's... Wow. That's ridiculous, dude. I mean, yeah, it is true. The advice that I will always recall, literally never doubt Zeno, because, like, yeah, the guy's goated. Man, the guy can just pull anything from... He can turn water to wine. He can just... Oh my lord! I do not have enough words to describe the amount of work that put in. However, we have some very fancy news. With this 4K, we have now passed 2,500 hook stages this season. That is crazy. Yeah, Season X is the biggest season ever. So we had to have big numbers like that. 2,500 hook stages. Goodness me, that is a tough one. That's a lot of meat.
Both teams contributing, 12 on each, 12 aside this one, so, you know, really well done.
Community effort. We have a spectacular community here.
They're both throwing in, contributing. Wow. Solid. Okay, like, listen, again, as a killer man, that was just beautiful on both sides. It was so crazy. two totally different games again, like the same thing we saw last match where like they both teams had positives and negatives on Cenobite, and this time it's the same thing where like Ward slowed down, like the first down came in like almost 4 minutes into the match, like but was spreading around pressure, no gens were getting done and stuff like this. This time gens kind of flew, like the gens got done fast, but Xeno was able to get a fast down and then a fast tunnel out, and then a fast snowball. Like it's so crazy. The two games went completely different. One was like chess, and this was like, I don't know, a sprint. What do you call this? What do you call this? The 100-meter dash? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, something like that. God. Okay. Finally, we're going to see. Finally, we're going to see him put out of their misery here. Goodness me, Team Oracle, what was that all about? I mean, I guess we can talk about the hit of the pallet, I suppose, but that's not really a factor that you can, like, plan for. You can only talk about, like, the macro elements for what happened before, and that was, like, yeah, but bluntly, V1 got hit with a very early mark and a very early down, and then the
Welcome back, gamers. We are loaded into the Coal Tower. We got Obi on Wesker for Team Elysium up against the survivors of Oracle. After that crazy Ghost Face match, we are 1 apiece here, and we are looking to see who's going to get ahead in this matchup between Elysium and Oracle. Quick chase found on V1. We're going to use our brutal strength and continue this chase. Interesting add-ons here, Egdar. We've got Egg. I'm an Egg enjoyer myself. But love the weight out at the pallet. We got some Jewel Beetle, so we'll have to see if that we get some edge map throws value here. But very patient here by V1. And
okay.
Very patient. And then as soon as I open my big mouth, patience goes. So
Obi was simply more patient on this day. What could we say? Yeah, this is a killer that has a relatively fair, honestly, relatively like fair enough kill rate, 30%. Average of like 9-10 hook stages per game as V1 gets caught out through that pallet, and there's no one there for the save, so that's a relatively quick first down here. V1 was taking the chase in a pretty good location at the very least. Did drop 2 pallets for it, obviously the very strong Shack pallet and then the 4-lane wall one, which isn't going to be quite as good. 1 minute 6 seconds for the first down here. Slightly faster than usual. You'd want at least like 20-30 more seconds generally. And remember what you were saying about edge map throws? Cartney actually not dead. Actually not dead.
I was gonna say this could be very quick, but yeah.
Has this gym to work with, but I think Obi is in a great spot to outplay it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say didn't get thrown edge map, but not gonna die. Made it to that. What do you call that tile? I call it a crooked long wall because it's like a long wall.
I just call it a gym because every new tile with like some variants of palette or window to me is just gym. I'll call like the long walls and short walls and like the TNLs exactly what they are. That is just gym. It's just a gym.
I come up with funky names like the weird either the weird Coldwind tiles or the Autohaven tiles that are the kind of ones that have more of an open concept. I call them bear claws. I don't know why someone called it once that, but I call that a long wall, a crooked long wall because it's got a pallet and then it's got a long wall, but the long wall's got like a curve in it. So, anyways,
I see what you mean.
Great grab there and edge wrap. So we're not tunneling V1 yet, but we have seen 2 hooks. 2 pain reses come in at 5 generators. They were working some of those generators down by main building. You can see 2 generators kind of around that 60 to 70% stage. V1 is going to, V1's a little stinky, so we're going to spray on some spray-on deodorant here and get that Ouroboros out of their system. And we're probably, looks like we're gonna maybe camp this one out and give up a couple gens for it and kind of get into the middle of the game here, the middle of the tunnel out here.
Yeah, smooth moves coming out here for Flix, who's trying to stealth their way over for the unhook. Cartney does hit second stage, which is that's sort of the go signal. It's generally when you get an early first hook, it's generally keep them till second stage, and then obviously they're a good tunnel out. Go see if you can get someone else on a hook before returning when they've been unhooked to officially get that tunnel out. But we have actually struggling to find anyone right now. It was applying pressure to some sides of the map. Second generator popped here. So you're making decent progress for the survivors. I do favor things here slightly for Obi. Again, just looking at the numbers, if you can 4K on Wesker, you are ahead of the curve, very, very much so. That is a bit more troubling, however.
Well, no, but look at this though. I don't know if you've noticed.
I'm looking at the 3-gen setup.
There's a 4-gen almost. It's like a 3.5. The other generator is very, very close to the. Okay, we're coming in for the double unhook here. We're gonna get a throw hit on ward, and we're gonna try and get the finish the tunnel out here. It looks like Flix is trying to body block it there. We have this eye tile here. Sorry, the 4th gen. Okay, so now Okay, damage did come through. Everybody's injured, but they've managed to get Cartney to main building. And yeah, okay, so this is one of those things where if you decide to tunnel, if you decide to tunnel there, you could lose the gens here. I think we want to just keep the pain reses, keep the hooks down the bottom side here. There's this gen here. There's a gen deep beside Shack. There's a gen over in the tile right to the right side of the screen there. And then the other one is like middle of the map. Near where that down came in. So this is a very holdable 3 to 4 gen. Now the trouble is that if you keep it in a 4v1 for too long, they will be able to win the war of attrition and just, you know, whittle down, especially when you're applying eruptions to these generators. You'll run out of kicks. So we really do need to get somebody out of this game quickly. But great play by V1 there. Great play by V1. Cartney's healed up. When did Cartney get healed?
Probably by Ward, just now. Just now got healed up by Ward, has to be. So they can send Cartney...
Inner healing? I don't know. Maybe it was inner healing?
Yeah, that's actually possible. Yeah, that's actually possible as well. Because I'd be quite surprised to see Ward not getting healed up in that exchange. So yeah, you're probably right on the inner healing.
I might be wrong though.
Flix is gonna be going to second stage sooner rather than later, and yeah, we're locked in a really strange war of attrition right now. You know, both of these teams, they want to not. They have their safe zones on their side maps, and occasionally they will like go into like the opponent's territory to try and fish for like some gen progress or an unhook or a heal, or on the killer side some injuries, some downs, some infections as well. You know, if you can keep those stacked up, that's some extra passive slowdown that you can deal with if Flix goes to second stage. Problem here is now you have like 2 survivors, I think, yeah, 2 survivors dead on hook. No survivors dead. Hook stages are the win condition, but what actually wins you games is kills at the end of the day. The fact there are still 4 survivors on the playing field right now is really, really tough for Obi to contend with.
It is, and okay, so keep in mind too, so yes, Flix is on death hook, Cartney's on death hook. Also keep in mind when it comes to this regression situation, V1 has also been hooked. Mind you, I'm like caster cursing like 100% today. Never mind, we decided to go instead to try and grab
Flix.
I was gonna say,
right? Yeah, why not?
Flix is our only fresh hook, is what I was gonna say. So we only have 1 pain res left. So if let's say V1 gets into a chase and runs all the way down to main building, you could find yourself in a situation where you could. That's gonna be a grab, right? You could find. Wow, that was a throw.
It's a toss.
Wow, that was so close. I'm so shocked. I think we're gonna make the window still. Anyways, there's worlds where like you find yourself in a position where they can take chase away, and you don't have they take chase down to the main building area away from the generators, and there's no pain res to sort of like then make up for the fact that you're not controlling the generators. Okay, good grab. Speaking of fresh hooks, that's gonna be our last one here. Wow, great grab.
Yeah, no breakout shenanigans this time. That's going to be a hook onto Ward. And God, yeah, you're really splitting these. I mean, I don't know, put a plus rep on Obi's profile for, you know, playing fair, I guess. But honestly,
8 hooks before a kill.
yeah, like I'm saying, like that's kind of a problem. You've gotten hooks on everyone. Great. Where's your kills? And on the survivor side, I mean, hey, where are your gens? You know, there's still 4 of you. I'm surprised that, like, not one of these has been completed at this stage. I feel like Obi's in a spot where, like, the dominoes could just fall at any moment, but you're chasing, like, a perfectly healthy survivor near Shack. However, the issue, there aren't many things here. You get that short-range toss, which means you're going to make some great distance. Yes, there's a pallet here for Cartney to work with. V1 is around, has to take a hit. Sooner or later, it is going to be able to do it!
That's so hard to pull off, and Obi did it effortlessly. That's going to be a death on Courtney. That changes this game immediately. You were just talking about where's the kills. Well, there's one right there. That was an amazing dash by Obi. Well played. Looks like we're going to get down to that 3v1 at 4 generators. The survivors now are in the situation where they need to heal up, get safe. I mean, we got V1 in a chase down here, which is not where you want to be. There's not a lot of resources. You got to get healed up. You got, oh, good. Nope. Good juke, good juke, good juke. Nope. You got to get healed up, and you got to get yourself in a situation where you can start whittling away at these generators. You have to be organized. You can't rush this. And, I mean, what did we, back at the beginning of the match again, playing this pallet, V1 and Obi.
Hit again at this pallet, but in essence, basically, V1 probably just shouldn't play that pallet ever again. That's the only conclusion that we can draw. Like, this is also just like a kind of terrible half of the map, to put it bluntly.
We're out of resources. Like,
you're out of resources, but also
Obi's going around collecting wood.
yeah, but also by Shack, you have Shack, and then like if you're and like normally there'll be like a filler nearby, and that's kind of it. This 4-lane wall, the pallet's been dropped, Shack pallet's been dropped, over at the Crooked Gym, as you call it by the other generator, pallet's now been destroyed. Like,
I'm making it a thing. It's a thing now.
Yes, not only are you going into a 3-gen, but you're also going into a horrific 3-gen. Obi, your arm's quite long enough, not quite long enough to box with God on this day, despite what you might try. And then patience at the window. Maybe a little too much. Maybe a little too much patience at the window.
Wow.
Lock in, young man. It seems, as Obi doesn't get the injury and immediately dips to go check back on the generators. Recognizes kind of where the game plan is at, where the win condition can be found.
That's exactly what Oracle needed. What Team Oracle needed there. They needed a good chase in a location where they didn't have a lot of resources, and Flix delivered. Flix managed to pull off 2 really good vaults there at the right time. Was patient against the killer that can come flying from the door into the middle of Shack. Flix was just very patient, waited, and managed to pull it off. And yeah, we had to leave. We're gonna go apply some eruptions to these generators, but we have 3 healthy survivors, and 3 healthy survivors and some pretty good gen progress here.
They're doing a really good job stealthing too. Despite the fact that this is very much a 3-gen, the survivors are splitting on them very well, and they're always able to just draw their attention to like another portion of the map. V1 eventually going to get found out. Urban Evasion not going to do you the favors that you think it would.
Oh no!
It's going to get dragged back into the edge of the map. You do have this 4-lane again, but this time
4 lanes again.
You get the stun this time, and you get the haste from Smash here, and you dodge out the dashes as well. And now you're getting into an area of the map with some stuff to work with. The side by the main building hasn't really been used. You're able to get yourself to this filler with a maybe lucky stun here.
The gens are popping. The gens are about to pop.
Yeah.
Both gens pop. He's going to get the down. Oh, they're on different gens. Yeah, if we needed that down, we needed that down right away. This is a winning chase. V1 managed because Eruption were on those gens, and now we're going to get the down. The Eruption was on those gens. We needed that down, and unfortunately... Well, fortunately for V1, unfortunately for Obi, that was the location of the map. That was the one part of the map that had not been chased in, and we just had all the resources nearby. And wow, that was looking like 4K2, 4K1 territory. And now it looks like we're in a pretty good position to get some outs. Really well played by the survivors. Both V1 and Flix had some really strong chases there in the 3v1.
Yeah, and I'm actually not entirely sure what the plan is now. Like, they could just send Flix out here, and that wouldn't be awful. There's one gate nearby to there is one gate that seems to be very nearby to that hook, as Obi not able to land that shot quite. And now you see where Flix is. I wonder, I don't believe that this is the gate that's been open. No, it hasn't. So it's not really one in a spectacular position to take V1. Honestly, I think at this stage, it's a cut your losses type of deal. I mean, I see that, but you're not actually able to drag Ward further into that map. So V1 takes a hit there. Is this gate? No, that gate isn't remotely 99.
Both of them. Here's the thing, though. That injured both of them, so now anyone is a valid target. And also, for the record, Ward has 2 hooks. The survivors, this was really, really gutsy. They have to make it all the way from the top, from main building down the bottom side. We can grab anybody here. Now, they are getting sort of like a little phalanx around Ward. And, okay, we are going to wind up grabbing V1, so we won't grab Ward. So Ward will make it out, and they will get out the gate with 3 hooks. But that was really dangerous. That grab that injured both of the healthy survivors could have ended up losing 2 more hook states. But as a result of it, we ended up getting V1. We didn't gain anything. That was really dangerous. I'm just sorry. My brain just caught up. We didn't gain anything there. V1 ended up dying anyway, and we almost gave up an extra hook. So, I would say like big W for the survivors getting the gens done. Big W for getting out the door. But that could have gone worse than it did. That's going to be 9 hooks for fresh. That could have been 10. So very, very gutsy play. We like to see plays, but I think they should have just cut and run. I don't know about you, but that's
I mean, like, I think the vision there was there was a gate much closer to the hook, and I think there was an attempt to open that one. We could see that it had, like, some amount of progress on it with the lights.
You drop Brutal Strength, which is pretty strong on Wesker because you can get rid of pallets pretty quickly. We're opting to drop Brutal Strength and instead run Pop Goes the Weasel along with Eruption. So Kicking Generator is going to have a little bit extra spice after head-on play comes in and a blind Bully Squad. My goodness. I love Xeno stopping and turning around and blinding immediately. We're going to see a little bit better gen kicks after hooks. Same add-ons though. So we got the Egg for Patience and the Beetle for throwing. Quick chase there, didn't amount to anything, and this is a bit of an interesting gen split. This middle gen is going to be very important, but it's also going to be very hard to protect because you can see the killer coming from a mile away.
Yeah, you see the killer coming from a mile away. So it's going to be a tough one. All the corrupt gens over on the other side right now, so it's not ideal to really be taking chase within them, but sometimes you just have to sort of play with the hand that you are dealt. Marco has been forced off of that high ground, likely the balanced landing survivor, and as you can see, he's going to just be making lots and lots of distance all the way over to the other side of the map. Ward right now struggling to really find a whole lot, not getting an early injury, let alone an early down. And you kind of need to get it up relatively soon. Again, at the very least, your chases are in like a pretty good spot, but like, how much is that going to take you if you don't actually get the down?
Guys, for everybody who plays Dead by Daylight out there, don't worry. Even the best teams in the world miss skill checks every now and then. You see that explosion on that generator. Unfortunately, we're just going to bounce off that pallet, and this chase is going to continue on Marco. I wonder if we continue or if we're going to go to that generator. We're going to continue. We really need a dash here, but I think we get around it again. Yeah. Oh my God. What a great heads-up play by Marco to stop Wesker from being able to vault that pallet. Vaults back into him. Doesn't take that. That was like frame perfect, because if you vault too soon, you're going to take the slap. And then when you don't vault, like if you vault too late, he's going to vault into you, and you're going to be standing there holding the bag. Yeah. Wow. Great play by Marco. And this chase is going on very, very long. Ward needs this down right away. Pallet's going to drop. We don't have Brutal Strength in order to zone.
I think it's already over. I truly think it is already over. The fact that Marco isn't down yet, the fact that Ward hasn't been able to find that first down, 2 generators have been completed. We're getting into like bloodlust full infection territory by the time that this down and hook comes through. It just simply isn't enough. Oof, not quite.
I was thinking, I was like, I would be looking for Xeno. We've already seen that flashlight play once. Sorry, that was so close. Could you imagine that flashlight came in? Ward would just game over, right?
I can imagine that Ward would have like smashed his PC into like a million pieces.
Good Lord. 2 minutes and 40 seconds on that down, and yeah, I mean, this is a very, very different. We had a very fast down last time. I mean, a little bit of that standoff with V1, but then it ended up being a fairly quick down. And as things stand now, Ward's in trouble. Ward needs a lot to happen in a little bit of time. And these survivors are not making mistakes. Like, they're good pathing. Utilizing these God Rocks. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. It's not over yet, but again, just like, we need to see a very, yeah, there we go. I was going to say, we need to see a very technical, good throw there too. We need to see a very technical play here by Ward in order to get a hit quickly. We are going to see the unhook coming in on Marco. And now what do? You got a tunnel. but you tunnel and you run out of time, right?
I think you're just kind of you're just sort of running out of time full stop, if I'm being honest. More generators are just going to be flying. You know, that's another one done. Xeno's a quarter way finished on theirs. These gens are spread too, so it's not like you have like a 3-gen that you can lock down, as you're eventually going to be able to find Marco, put them back on the hook. But there's such a crazy gen spread right now. There doesn't seem to be like any ounce of pressure onto the other survivors. You know, obviously Xeno is infected and injured. We'll have to deal with that at some point, but isn't really in that much of a hurry when you have this strong an early game. Marco might die here, but if he does, I think it will just be far too late to have any like meaningful impact on the outcome of this match.
Agreed. And so there is a bit of a, again, so you know, I'm a broken record. I say the same things every time I cast. But if you're looking at the generators, there is a bit of a 3-gen down by Shack side. But DBD is not always about how long you last in chase. It's often about where you end up dying. And Marco understands that. Marco dies far away from those generators. We've got Silhei hanging out around main, who could potentially get this save. If we leave to go patrol those generators, one that just popped, we're going to see Silhei get the unhook for free. If we wait and camp it out, which looks like what we're doing, and we're going to get the unhook here. If we wait, they get the gens done, and it's game over. So what do you do, right? What do you do? There's too much to do and only one of you to do it. Clearly a survivor-sided game because it's 4v1. What can one do against 4? Okay, we're gonna see the kill. We're gonna see the kill on Marco with 1 gen left. Pretty good split on these generators. And there
Dude, what? Oh my god.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna get more hook stages, I'm sure. But all you gotta do is get any one of these survivors out the door, and it's a win for Team Elysium.
That's not just gen efficiency, that is like gen divine intervention. Even if Xeno goes, okay, it doesn't matter. Oscar and Silhei, Oscar and Silhei can leave. They are perfectly fine. I believe right now we'll just Silhei to go to get the Mori.
Silhei, get out! We want to see a Mori. Yeah, we want to see a fist fight. Let's go.
And it's a cool one as well. It's a cool Mori too. Hooray.
That's my Wesker. I only do it once a day. You guys only get 1 impression. That's my 1 impression of Wesker for the day. So that is going to be 6 hooks, 2 fresh, and that is going to be a very definitive win for Team Elysium in this one, which means, as we said, ORA can only tie the set. A win for Elysium or a tie in the last set will end up being a win for Elysium. Oracle has to win the Houndmaster. And we are on the very, very interesting Cold Tower 2. So similar landmarks in a different organization here. We are Ward is on the Houndmaster here. Chasing, looks like we saw somebody over here. Can't quite tell who and where they were. We've had some last week. We had some really interesting Houndmaster matches. Not exactly a killer we see all the time. You'll see Ward waiting out the struggle here because if you hit while Snug is snug on your arm there, you'll get a little bit more distance. But if you wait till they do that, they will. And we're just being very patient. And we're gonna get the down on Oscar. Well played there by Ward. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. We've had some good Houndmaster matches. Is what I'm trying to say, and I'm hoping these will be the same. Really solid play there we saw by Ward. I'm gonna pass it off to you here. Interesting perk choice. Do you see it? Do you see the perk? I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah. Save best for last.
Yeah.
We don't see this one in a while. Obviously, it got nerfed quite that while ago. Cause it used to be really popular on killers like, say, Demogorgon or Nemesis, where you could just sort of avoid actually proccing it on the Obsession. And then it would just be busted. I think when you were able to get to 8 stacks of it, it was truly one of the strongest chase perks in the entire game. The immediate 2 taps. But not only did its effectiveness get reduced, but now it doesn't really apply to those. Plus, despite having the dog, you're an M1 killer anyway, so Ward has to be kind of careful. If you can just keep, like, taking these chases away from Xeno, then great, spectacular. It's going to still provide you a lot of value. But if Xeno, if it is recognized that there is a save best for last in play, then Xeno is just going to become like the #1 body blocker of all time, and it's going to make things kind of tricky It's going to make things kind of tricky for the killer.
I think typically you need probably, I'd say, if you're a genius, you can identify it at 3 stacks. 4 stacks is when it really starts to kind of show itself. 2 stacks is a little fresh, right? I think you're not going to see too much of a difference that they maybe don't identify it. By the way, I just want to point out the fact, I'm not 100% sure, but in that first chase we saw with Oscar, speaking of the body blocker extraordinaire, there goes all of our stacks. I don't think that was, I think that was I'm the healthy survivor more than I'm the obsession. I don't think Xeno knows yet, but I think that pallet play where we barely got the hit down, I think Oscar had live up still. I don't think we'd had a vault yet. So I think that that hit and that down earlier was more important than we realized, because the swing through the pallet and goes, swing through the window and goes. I think that if we hit that vault, we make it all the way to Shaq, and that first down, which came in at 47 seconds, does not come in nearly that fast. So interesting. Going to see the second gen pop here from Silhey. We had two of the other survivors, 2 injured survivors, sitting on this gen near the down, and we're going to take our second hook on to Oscar near this progress generator. We didn't take our pain res yet on either of them, which is interesting. Very interesting. I don't know why.
Yeah. Particularly interesting.
I don't know why we wouldn't have taken pain res on, like, the first one. There was a pain res on the. By the way, can I shout out? I gotta shout out Behavior right now, our new DBD partner. They've been making so many great changes to the spectator. We see pain res. We see scourge hooks now. That used to be a bug where you couldn't see scourge hooks. We do. I just want to throw that out there. I just noticed. It's been for a while now. I only just noticed that we're seeing pain res. So big shout out to Behavior on that. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
love to see the changes.
Yeah, that we do. Bigger and brighter things for the future. However, the future is not going to be with Oscar on the ground sooner rather than later, because that dog was sent headfirst into a wall. Going to be a hefty vet will to cover that one out. Not going to be getting the bite onto Oscar as well. And yeah, it's really it's tough. Like, you need to get like a kind of crazy flick. Okay, last second for the people.
Sorry.
Came through.
You know what's funny too? That got rid of any stacks that were remaining because it swapped over who was the obsession. So yeah, wow, very, very good play there.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I just don't fully see the save the best for last vision. That being said, I'm not entirely sure what the other perk that you would run on Houndmaster would be. If you are, hitting survivors at this rate, then like, sure, I see.
Flashlight.
That's the easiest flashlight they've ever seen. And the champion of light hinder and the double block. Just stop and the
pallet. I was gonna say, because Ward was in between a flashlight and a hard place there. Because if you don't pick up right away, they get under pallet, and then you really can't pick up. So I think they were going for the very quick pickup, thinking that maybe Xeno would think that we were gonna chase, and no, not so much the case. And yeah, I guess we're just saying, all right, tunnel out gets tunneled out. Tunnel out gets away. I'm gonna go ahead and take a hook here on our downed for the people, and there comes our first pain res coming in. Yeah, really great play, by the way, by survivors of Elysium. They played incredible teamwork to keep their tunnel out alive, and now they're full health, so no tunnel outs happening anytime soon.
Yeah, slowly but surely, you can see that again, you're trying to build up the stacks of save best for last, just like slowly but surely. It's so easy for those to just vanish from you. So you are sort of relying on the survivors to play a bit cheeky and try and take hits for each other here and there. There's no better feeling, or at least there was no better feeling, than when you're trying to hook someone, everyone's trying to body block, but you have saved the best for last. And if you're Ward, you kind of need a situation like that to come in to get that level of value. Silhey is here. Looks like is going to be content with a trade on this hook. Not the worst case scenario.
If we chase Marco, I mean, you can't worry about it, but when you chase Marco, you just lose all your stacks again.
I mean, yeah, but you would also get a down and another. I suppose it's all in perspective.
It's more so that way, right?
It's more so, yeah, just like it's an opportunity cost thing, right? The value that you could have gleaned from picking something else, because I don't I can't really point to anything that Say Best for Last has done this trial, to be completely honest. But I can point to what the survivors have been doing. Generators, particularly Oscar's generator, which is very heavily progressed now. Xeno and Sile in a really odd spot. Xeno's healthy, but Sile still needs to get reset. And just, like, yeah, trying to... So as long as possible in this edge map is Xeno, is eventually going to eat up a hit once finished with the dog grab, which will be sooner rather than later. Yeah, eventually going to get hit. And now you're at Shack. Do you still have Shack pallet to work with?
No, it got thrown earlier. Yeah, no,
it got thrown earlier. You're not able to vault the window, but you do have Oscar here to take the hit for you. So that's what you're going to rely on instead. It looks like Marco and Sile are doubling up on the final generator, because this is a unenviable spot for the survivors right now. They're all injured. They do not appear to be having a good time.
Very interesting there. Like, that was really gutsy by Xeno. I don't know if you saw that. They sent they sent Oscar in because Oscar is dead on hook. So right now, we're at the point of the game where you sacrifice your death hook as opposed to trying to keep them alive, because we're about to see the generators get completed. Xeno, so we had the dog on Oscar, and we had Ward standing there waiting out the dog grab, and Xeno just full sent it out of Shack. If Ward had turned slightly to the right, Xeno goes down immediately. So anyways, I just thought that it was a really, really gutsy move, and Xeno just kind of full sent it, and it worked, but that could have gone really bad. That could have gone really, really bad. Wow, all the troops are here. We had another reset.
Yeah,
Oscar's gonna take another hit.
Yeah, and I feel like I understand exactly why you hold it up for that long, but I feel like when you're this limited on time, wasting those seconds to just sit by the survivor may not even be the most spectacular use of your time, especially if you have something like Say Best for Last, where you can just sort of kind of try and get a quick catch up. Anyway, nice prediction there. Sends the dog slightly to the left. Recognize that. Recognize that the Duke would come out in that direction, and so a hook onto Oscar is going to be good, but not good enough to stop this final generator.
Oscar had pain res! Oh my god, Oscar's pain res was still up! Oscar had not been pain res. That's how close that was. That's so unfortunate for Ward, because for whatever reason, we chose to not hook on that hill the first hook, and then the second hook was by that other generator, also not pain res. So Oscar's done death hook, but that pain res was still up. That's so unfortunate for Ward. Oh my goodness, it just feels like the survivors were running around tanking hits, healing up, running around tanking hits, healing up, and we just weren't able to finish anything off there. Who did we grab? We grabbed Mark, but we got freed by Xeno, and I know we want Xeno, but we missed the duck. I know we want Xeno, but they're gonna get out. You should have taken the down on. So unfortunate. You should have taken the down on Marco. They're gonna get out. What's the plan here?
I mean, yeah, with the altruism, you can't actually do anything to stop the survivors getting out, because the other survivor can just push them off easy as that.
They break it that fast, hey? Wow.
Yeah, no, literally. It's crazy. Strong work coming out there from Elysium. Yeah, okay, Houndmaster isn't a killer that 4Ks often. It only happens 15% of the time, actually. But still, that's the 3 outs isn't Xeno picking things up here with a little bit of a unique build here.
Is everything okay? That was weird. I think we're okay. Sorry, continue on about the build. I agree. Sorry, just we were swinging and we did a dash there. I was wondering if there's a technical difficulty, but it seems okay. Sorry, please tell me about the build. I would love to hear about it.
Yes, we have Gift of Pain, new name pending. Gift of Pain, which is that's going to be offering passive slowdown on hooked survivors. Obviously, if they get healed, it does a lot of things. Weirdly enough, it mangles and survivors when they get put on the hook to increase their healing speed. Then if they get healed, they then do gens slower until they are injured again. It's very unique, but it's passive slowdown, because point is you have a choice to make where you can heal them to be slower and then do gen slower, but at least they're healthy, or you keep them injured to keep them out of that kind of losing state, but they're injured. Take that however you will. Knockout as well.
Knockout
which is a slugging perk. to put it bluntly. It just makes down survivors. It means they recover slower, they crawl slower, they're hard to pick up. So it is just a slugging perk. I wouldn't have thought Houndmaster was like a slug killer, if I'm being honest, but I think Xeno might just be experimenting at the end of the season.
Potentially. I mean, but we wouldn't have known the win condition coming in, so it's definitely not
Very
like
quick down.
yeah, very quick down. It's definitely not a sorry, lost my train of thought. It's not like it's adjusting. This was his plan going in all day, so anyways, yeah, very quick down, 1 gen pops.
I'm looking for where the other survivors could be. There's actually one right here. Ward caught kind of his pants down in an awkward spot here. The Poodle, unfortunately, flings right past him. Quick pallet drop. Often what you'll see at a lot of pallets is you get like a really kind of peculiar mind game and a bit of a stalemate between the survivor and killer. Essentially, the killer can't send out the dog because otherwise the pallet will be dropped to break free, and the survivor can't drop the pallet because the dog will go right over it and then bite them. Meaning, like, oftentimes at these pallet situations, you can get standoffs. Now, we haven't seen any of those recently, but it is an interesting thing to consider as, yeah, Ward's trying to hug that loop very, very tightly to get around. Unfortunately, isn't able to do so. And, I mean, hey, I guess this slowing kind of works. If Flix is nearby and you can get a quick injury onto him, more power to...
We're talking about that knockout slugging and whatnot, and I mean, like, we're kind of playing that game right now, though. We are going to pick up Ward finally. We were in a situation where we could almost put it to use, but all right. So we're going to fresh hook on Ward. Pain res comes in. 2 pain res so far. Nice synergy there, obviously, with the Scourge hooks as well. You were talking earlier about Gift of Pain, which, again, Gift of Pain is the only new perk name I know. I think, as far as I can tell, they haven't made the change yet, but it will be Scourge Hook, Weeping Wounds. I don't know why. It just makes sense to me. Like,
yes.
For a while, it'll take me a while to remember it, but that's the one I know. And we find the chase on Flix, injured Flix here. This could be a really bad situation for our survivors. We're going to have a second down right by the hook. Okay, thankfully the survivors did get the unhook on Ward, so we can, if we do get, and great damage over the pallet there too. Something we saw a lot last week is hitting those damages over the pallet. It's really interesting timing on that, but happens to go, if you do it too late, the Snug will jump the pallet and grab them on the other side, and they might get away. But if you can time it exactly right, that's what will happen. And that is
knockout got changed. Knockout got changed. Yeah,
I was looking at it. Yeah, I know. I couldn't remember all the differences, so I didn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not psychic, and the wiki updates don't always do it at the right speed. But yeah, no, it's very different now. When a survivor drops a pallet and they move further away from it, they get hindered for a few seconds. Right. So it's definitely a much better perk than it once was. Even despite its niche for slugging, it still wasn't very good, to be honest. Often, like, you didn't need to have people slower to slug. Also against organized teams, the whole like aura reading thing or slow crawling doesn't really matter because you can just call out positions. Seems like For the People has been used here from the 1 as Cartney gets injured up as well. And there, there you could see it. Slower and slower Cartney is, not just on account of getting, bitten by that dog and then trying to go from there, but also having that drop pallet and moving away from it. Now that I think about it, this actually works very, very well against a Houndmaster, because Houndmaster, there are some killers like, Billy or Bubba, where windows are their counter. Pallets kind of act as like a pseudo counter to Houndmaster, just because of the fact you can drop it on the dog, but then if you try and run away, you just get further slowed up. So it's really peculiar, as a 3rd generator's been popped right now.
That was a weird.
Xeno's got to be careful because you don't have any kills yet. But you should. That was a really weird.
Oh. I don't know if you saw that. That should have been a damage through the window, but instead we sent. Attempted block your match. Like, I don't know if you saw that. Oh my God! An incredibly fast 2-tap sends the dog through the window as we're vaulting back, and Flix is gonna get 2-tapped. Oh my God! That is. I mean, the survivors are getting gens done, but this is looking rough. I think that's the match right there. You can hook both the survivors and win it.
That might do it. Yeah, that might do it. I reckon so. Goodness me. Okay then. Well,
indeed.
That's a tough predicament for Flix to find themselves in.
That's gonna be 5 hooks 4 fresh, and that will be the win. That is the sorry. Yes, 5 hooks 4 fresh. That is going to be the win for Elysium. Yeah, sorry about that whole knockout thing. I literally was googling it because I'm like, I know it's different, but I forget exactly what it was. And the DBD wiki is not updated, so I'm gonna have to find out the source. I apologize for the miscasting there, guys. We're only human. We're doing our best here. DBD is a rich tapestry that has been growing and developing for 9 years now. Happy anniversary to our Dead by Daylight, to the game we all love. We're gonna play out the rest of this match though. We've got all injuries. Oh my goodness! As I'm talking, I was gonna say we have all survivors injured, but V1 just got healed, and comes in to take a hit. The question is, are we going to be able to get the last generator done? I would say probably, but we'll have to see what happens. We can potentially tunnel someone out if we find the injured survivors, and we'll see what happens here. Flix is like, no 2-tap this time. Let me go. But no, Flix is going to go down. And this is looking like potentially it could be a 4K1 territory. What? For the people pickup. There's so much happening. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, for people pick, it's all just desperation at this point. Xeno's already secured the win here for Elysium. 3-1. Hey, put it like this. No one on the staff team actually predicted the Elysium 3-1 win. They did predict the win. They didn't predict the 3-1. So, you know what? Fair play. Actually, you know what? There was one person who predicted the Elysium 3-1. Do you know who that was, Andrew? Do you know who that was, Mr. Andrew? Have a wild guess.
I honestly don't know, but I'm guessing the way you're talking it was you.
It's me. Am I a genius? If so, a very humble one.
It's proven, guys. DBDL is rigged. It's rigged. It's all scripted. Okay, someone's gonna clip that and take it for real. It's not scripted. That's a joke. If it were scripted, we wouldn't be. It wouldn't be in favor of me or Egdar. So, anyways, we got 3 slugs. Cartney's still alive. Maybe finishing the last generator. Yeah. So wow. Okay. So this is So looking at I just cracked on the gen there. Looking at the results of this is going to be Elysium puts himself in the position, depending on the outcome tomorrow between Invictus and Nocrun, they have the potential to jump into first place. At the same time, we have Oracle, who is going to be they've already basically secured their position in the adrenaline play. Basically secured their position in the playoffs. However, they are going to have a bit of an uphill struggle. They are going to have to play the most qualifiers to get to the actual semifinal brackets. They're going to have to play a match to go up against 4th place, to then go up against what it will likely be 1st place, to then go into the finals. So a little bit extra work for Oracle, but Oracle's had a great season, and their season ain't over yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and they have shown some flashes of brilliance in this series as well, so I'm quite excited there. As sometimes, like, you think, why doesn't the dog just, like, you know, bite the survivor when they're right next to them? But
yeah,
as we know, that's a lot to ask for. I'm also still really caught off by the fact that there's a poodle running around the entity's realm. It is quite literally like, imagine, like, I just imagine the OG killers, like, you know, like the OG killers like Trapper and like Wraither and Hillbilly and stuff, and they just look over, and all they see is like some woman with his dog, and then like a guy in a bunny outfit, and they are like, bro, and a K-pop star as well. It's like, bro, they will literally let. Yeah,
actually
and
Dracula.
Well,
right?
yeah, but like, actually Dracula, he's like, I could see why he'd be in like the kills realm.
No, I know, but you're like, you have annoying teenage gang, and
guy with a chainsaw, a guy with bear traps,
and then you've got Dracula and the amalgamation of evil known as the Dredge. Like, it's such a great. I love the variety we get is crazy. I love it.
I want them. I want like a skit where all the killers just like go for drinks like after like the trials. Like they
kind of have that. Haven't you seen that? What is it? is it Salmonation? Someone makes some cartoons on YouTube for it. It's been a while since they put any out there, but a lot of content creators were in there too. Like I think Aaron did a voice and stuff like that. Noob3 did a voice. Maybe not Aaron. Noob3 did a voice. It's pretty funny. Check it out. I'm advertising for something else. I shouldn't be doing that, but whatever. And if they've ever done anything terrible, I take it back entirely. Let's get a Mori. Maybe are you gonna get Hatch?
Is he giving Hatch?
No, we're getting a Mori. Let's go.
Minus rep on the profile. I just got eaten by a dog. Yeah, I mean the Moris, they do get better over time, and those heals really being put to good use there. Very censored by the Hatch. Thank you, Hatch. Very, very cool. But yeah, that would do it. Elysium 3-1 in this series. Was it in doubt that they would win? At the beginning, no, and then after the first match, sort of, and then they just brought it back. And honestly, after the Ghost Face set, it seemed that the pendulum completely swung their way. They just got off to a slightly slow start, but after that, they were just fine, no problems whatsoever.